Hello everybody, how's it going? It's Ak, and welcome to my guide to the Molten Core for level 100 as a DPSer. In this video I'm going to be covering the melee DPS, but you can use the same strategies for general like all DPS ranged as well. If this queue actually pops, which it might. So yeah, I'm going to go boss by boss explaining every single tactic you need to use for the boss. The tactics are, well, not really hard because this raid is tailored to 40 people that have no clue what they're doing, but nonetheless. Let's get right into it, guys. I'll take your body to the moon. Okay, folks, so the first boss you're going to encounter is Lucifer. So Lucifer has 3 main abilities and also has 2 adds that have another ability, which is super annoying. So the adds have one ability, which is Dominate Mind. It is as it says, a Dominate Mind, which can be removed. So yeah, do remove it if it happens. Next up is Lucifer. His mechanics are pretty much trivial. So the first thing is Impending Doom, which inflicts 100,000 shadow damage to nearby enemies after 10 seconds. How you avoid this is you stand, if you're a range, you want to stand like at 40 yards away from the boss, and this won't hit you at all and will be of no concern to you. If you're a melee, honestly, you can either, if you're a rogue, you can cloak it, or you can use an AMS to negate the damage if you're a DK. Honestly, I didn't pay too much attention to it. Your healers should be able to cancel it. The important mechanic is Lucifer's curse. He curses all nearby enemies. Once again, healers and range can cancel it by standing at 40 yards. It won't even hit you. It curses nearby players, increasing the costs of their spells and abilities by 100% for 5 minutes. This is really bad, especially if you're a rogue, because your Sinister Strike, for example, if you're me, if you're a combat rogue, your Sinister Strike will end up costing 100 energy. This is really bad. Once again, Cloak of Shadows can remove it. Anti-Magic Shell, if I'm not mistaken, it can prevent it, but not remove it. If you're a healer, hot shit onto the spells, please! This is a pretty straightforward fight. Once again, this is made for 40 people who have no clue what they're doing. Okay, next up is the big boy Magmadar. Magmadar is a big freaking core hound, and there's honestly not too much to him. So, I want to first quickly talk about the clip that you saw a while ago of me topping DPS and the core hounds. I wanted to say something towards the core hounds. You need to kill one pack, wait for it to despawn, and then kill the other packs, or the next pack, because they will actually respawn if you don't do that. So anyway, his first major ability is Panic. Panic is a 30-yard range fear, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, fear wards on the tank, tremor totems at the ready, humans PvP trinkets, or whatever you want to call that thing. All range should stay, at 40 yards, once again, at max range. It'll help a lot. So if you're a melee and you can't prevent it, don't fret, it's not that big of a deal. It's an 8-second fear. He doesn't cast it that often. Next up is Enrage. Now, Enrage increases his attack speed by 150%, which is really bad for your attacks. If you're a rogue or a hunter or a druid, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually remove Enrages. Rogues can use Shiv, hunters have Trank Shot, and druids have Soothe. So you want to use those abilities whenever you see that Enrage debuff come up. You're going to see me do it a few times in the fight. There's going to be a little pop-up on the right side of the DPS rolling down. You're going to see Dispel Enrage. Yeah, that's about it for Magmadar. Honestly, he's not that hard of a boss. He is the second boss here, and honestly, I actually really enjoyed this fight. I really like this fight. It's fun to see that these kinds of fights were there 10 years ago. So yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next boss. Okay, time for the next guy, Gehenna. Gehenna is actually one of the easier bosses, albeit a bit annoying. I actually really dislike this boss fight because of one ability that his adds have. So, first of all, of course, let's go over the add abilities, because his abilities are not that really important. So the adds only have one ability, and you should focus them because of it. It is a large-scale stun. It stuns a lot of people. You're going to see the DBM flashing up. It stuns like 8 to 10 people. I don't know. It stuns a lot for 4 seconds, and it can chain off of each other. So you can get stunned 3 times in a row. I think I actually get stunned 3 times in a row in the clip. But yeah, kill the adds to stop them from casting the stun ability, Fist of Ragnaros. Other than that, Gehenna has only 2 abilities that actually concern you. One of them is Gehenna's Curse. If you can remove it, please do. It reduces the healing you take by 75%, which is huge. And of course it lasts 5 minutes, so even after the fight you want everyone to be decursed. Once again, Cloak of Shadows does actually remove it. AMS, if I'm not mistaken, can prevent it. If you can decurse, if you're a mage, if you're a druid, if you're a shaman, go for it. Decurse. Decurse with all your worth because it is so good. So, next up is Rain of Fire. It deals a lot of damage and it's AoE. Just don't stand in it if you're DPS. If you're melee especially, don't stand in it. Ask for the tanks to move it or something because it can get really annoying. Once again, these bosses are not really hard, so yeah, that's about it for Gehenna's. Let's move on to the next boss. Okay, so our next boss is Gar. Gar is actually one of the people that dropped the bindings in the original Molten Core, so yeah, this guy is actually pretty cool. But yeah, this guy is actually not that hard to kill. So, he has only 3 abilities and all of them concern you. One thing is Anti-Magic Pulse. Anti-Magic Pulse periodically dispels magic effects on you. If I'm not mistaken, some procs are considered magic effects and he can dispel them, so yeah. Just recast your buffs every now and then if they drop off if you're a paladin or something. Next up is Frenzy. This increases attack speed by 9%, stacking up to 8 times. 1 for each ad you kill. Once you kill an ad, he's going to gain attack speed, so yeah, your tanks are going to start having a bit of a hard time later on in the fight. Next one is Magma Shackles. Magma Shackles reduces the movement speed of nearby enemies by 60% for 15 seconds. Ooh, that's a lot. That's really a lot. So, yeah, if you can get rid of it, I suggest actually all rogues to respec to Burst of Speed. If you can't utilize Shadow Step as you're supposed to utilize it. He also has this nasty knockback you're going to see. Keep your back to the wall at all times, no matter who you are. Just keep your back to the wall. It'll prevent the knockback. It won't, you know, it will still knock you back, but you won't get knocked back like into a trash bag or something. Another tip, clear all the trash in this room. It honestly isn't that much trash, and with the recent nerfs to core hounds and such, you should have no problems clearing this trash. Please do clear it. Just clear all the trash so you don't get knocked into it and don't give yourself more work. Anyway, the next are 2 bosses and our favorite troll boss, Baron Geddon. Oh, Baron Geddon. I salute you, my man. Baron Geddon is the ultimate joke on all fresh raiders, and it's kind of fun to see that Blizzard, you know, back 10 years ago, made this boss as a joke towards all fresh raiders, and now, here we are, fresh raiders and warlords of Draenor, and they're pulling the same joke on us again. And what do? We fall for it again. Anyway, guys, most of this fight is actually going to be in spirit form, or in release spirit form. Yeah, you're going to be stuck in that form a lot. If someone blows up next to you, or even if you manage to blow up, yeah, you're going to be watching a fight like this. Honestly, this fight is manageable with 10 people, because most of your raid is going to die to a living bomb. There are pretty much 3 mechanics in this fight, but you still will die in this fight. I can almost guarantee that you're going to die at least once. So the first ability that I'm going to talk about is Inferno. This concerns only melees. You're going to see when he's casting it, like, it just says he's casting Inferno and he's exploding and stuff. He's unable to move during this time, so run out so you don't take an unnecessary raid damage. You can stand in it. There's no problem if you stand in it. It doesn't do all that much damage. But take the pressure off your healers. Please do. And run out of it. It only lasts 8 seconds-ish, so you shouldn't have, like, terrible DPS loss for running out of it. His second ability is Ignite Mana. This just drains your mana when you stand near him. It is a 5-minute debuff, and it also damages you a bit once it drains mana. It only drains 400 mana, though, so it's not that big of an issue, especially if you're like a Ret with the mana regen passive you have. So his most important ability is Living Bomb. Now, this is honestly the most fun ability in the game. Absolutely love this ability. It's so obvious. It's so painfully obvious, yet so many people die from it. What it does is it selects a target. DBM even announces it nowadays. Selects a target and it makes it a big, giant, huge, flaming ball of death. And somehow, people still fail to realize that they are a giant, big, flaming ball of death. Which is hilarious, to say the least. So after a few seconds, you're actually going to explode, being knocked up and practically instantly killing everyone around you. So if you have this, I don't care who you are or what cooldown is active, run the fuck away. If you don't, you're wiping your raid. Like, yeah, basically, if you don't run away, you're gonna wipe your raid. I'm spending way too much time just talking about this guy. He's honestly really simple to kill. He actually starts casting Armageddon once he is about to die. Don't worry about it. It isn't a huge insta-kill mechanic or anything. It just makes the end of the fight easy for you. Anyway, let's move to the next boss because I'm talking too much. Shastra. The other way to say Shazam once you're casting a spell. Anyway, this guy is actually a pretty simple boss, although he is one of the hardest bosses in Molten Core in my opinion. So he only has like 5 mechanics, which is actually more than all the bosses here. His first ability is Arcane Explosion, which is an Arcane Explosion? Honestly, there's nothing to understand there. Counterspell is an important mechanic, which means all caster DPS stay at 40 yards at all times, healers included. Counterspell, what it does is it counters everyone within 30 yards of him, preventing any spell to be cast for 10 seconds. Another one of his annoying spells is Gate of Shastra, which teleports him to any visible enemy. So yeah, you might get silenced even if you're at 40 yards, but hey. And of course, as is the trend in Molten Core, he has a curse. So his curse increases your magical damage taken by 100%, which means the Arcane Explosion doesn't hit for 52k, but 104k, which is really bad. If you have a Purge, you can actually purge a debuff of the boss, which will be largely beneficial. This debuff is called Magic Grounding. If you're a mage, spell steal it, unless if you're not, just dispel magic, purge. Because the Magic Grounding actually reduces your magical damage taken by 50%. If it stays on the boss, that's a huge DPS loss for most people that do any sort of magic damage. So yeah, get that off as soon as possible. Yeah, that's about it for Shastra, so let's move to the next boss. Okay, so which boss you do next is actually dependent on which way your raid wants to head. My group actually did Sulfur on Harbinger first. So this guy is one of the more complicated bosses, although he has a lot of mechanics, he's not that complicated to deal with. There are a few things you want to watch out for. First of all are the ads. The ads should be killed first because they actually do have a heal. And you want people assigned to just interrupt the heal. The heal is called Dark Mending. Whenever you see it and you have an interrupt, use it. It heals for a lot, and you don't want to DPS the boss before all the ads are dead. The ads also have a Shadow Word Pain, and melee attack, and an Immolate, so yeah, don't really worry so much about the ads. They just call it a Shadow Word Pain and an Immolate, which you can get rid of. If you can get rid of it, go ahead, get rid of it, Cloak of Shadows once again. This boss actually does not have a curse, which is, wow, that is an achievement. Good job, Blizzard. He doesn't have a curse. You win in boss tactics, Blizzard. Anyway, now onto the boss abilities. The boss has one nasty ability for melees, which is Demoralizing Shout. Demoralizing Shout reduces the melee and ranged attack power of nearby enemies by 1.5k for half a minute. There's really no way to prevent this. I mean, if you were really hot shit, I guess you could somehow avoid it by running out and running back in, but it's no use. It's no use. It can't be dispelled. Just deal with it. You're going to have 1.5k AP reduction. Next up is Flame Spear. Just stay spread 8 yards because it does a little AoE on you. So yeah, just stay a bit spread to prevent that. He also has Hand of Ragnaros, which is a knockback and a stun. Nothing to worry so much. Once again, not really preventable. Just deal with it. And also he has Inspire, which increases the physical damage dealt by something by 25% and also increases its attack speed. If there are ads alive, he may actually cast this on the ads. If there are not ads alive, he just casts it on himself, and honestly it's just an annoying ability to deal with. That's about it. He also has a throw ability, which does some decent damage, and it can target you, so yeah, just if you see a throw landing on you, just use a little personal heal or something. Other than that, that's it for Sulfur and Harbinger. Let's move towards the next boss. Okay, so the next boss, or the first boss, depending on which one you did first, is Golem AG the Incinerator. Golem AG is probably the most straightforward boss. There is literally nothing that can kill you during this fight. Okay, there is something that can kill you, and we're going to go over that right now. So he has only 2 abilities that you really need to worry about. These are Earthquake and Pyroblast. He will also have 2 adds up during the fight. These cannot actually die while he's alive, so just ignore them, have a tank on them, and just DPS the boss. Using Blade Flurry, from my part, I'm not sure if it's actually beneficial. I don't think so. It probably is better to just stick to the boss and do DPS on the boss. It is your choice to AoE. It's absolutely useless, but go ahead. So Earthquake is his first ability. It does 57 to 63k physical damage to nearby enemies. Use a personal cooldown on this. Next up is Pyroblast, which is just a Pyroblast. Just watch out for the Earthquake. Use a little personal cooldown. Cut yourself under repair costs, man. Anyway, that is it. He's really simple. And the fight takes so fucking long. Okay, next up, the boss that you're not actually gonna be killing. Hello, Majordomo Executus. This is also the second to last boss in the instance, so grats, after 2 hours, you're nearly there. So yeah, this guy is so useless. He's so bad. Anyway, he has only 3 abilities, and they're all pretty useless. So there's only one ability that you really want to watch out for, which is Teleport. Teleport basically throws you in the middle of the room where there are little burning coals or whatever it is. Don't stand there, it's a fire, it deals damage to you. Generally, don't stand in the middle. Next up, he also has a Damage Shield ability, which causes some arcane damage to anything that strikes nearby targets, and a Magic Reflection. If you're a melee, you're probably not going to have to pay a lot of attention to Magic Reflection, but other than that, yeah, it's a Magic Reflection. You might want to look out for that. The adds that will be during this fight are going to be the thing that you're going to be killing. There are 2 adds, small adds and big adds. The Flamewalker healers, or Flame Waker healers actually, are the small adds, and these can be CC'd. If you are in a semi-organized group, you want to CC these, because it'll just take a huge burden off the group. These have the standard heal ability that you've seen from the Sulfur and Harbinger fight, I want to say. Yeah, that's the fight. From the Sulfur and Harbinger fight, yeah, they have the heal, so you want to kill those first. Always mark an add priority. You're going to mark, of course, what you're supposed to be killing. In the video, I think we have skulls and crosses and shit. Yeah, basically have a kill order so that DPS isn't split, because it's just going to get healed back up. Other than that, the adds also have a Blast Wave, which you're going to look out for, and other than that, they just have Shadow Bolts and Fireballs and shit. This fight is arguably the easiest, split between Golem AG and this guy. Basically, you just DPS adds and the boss just surrenders at the end. This fight actually has no loot. You won't even get the free 20 gold, like, fuck you, Blizz. Jeez, you're so bad, Blizz. Give us the 20G. I require a 20G in my mailbox right now, Blizz, or else I'm unsubscribing. After many hours of vigilant jumping, our heroes made it to Ragnaros' very lair. Too soon, Executus! You have awakened me too soon! Yeah, it's the big boy Rag! Oh man, this fight is the gorgeous one. Oh, I love this fight. Anyway, this fight actually has like 2 phases. Which is, oh my god, that's next gen! Next gen, 10 years ago, 2-phase fights? What is this? Wow! Anyway, he has only 3 abilities, which is kind of bad, being an end boss. He has Elemental Fire, which ignites the target, dealing a lot of fire damage as a dot. 63 fire resist on the helmet, guys. 63 fire resist. Watch out for the dot. Just, if you have any form of healing, just keep yourself a bit up, because the dot takes for quite a lot. Anyway, there's also Magma Blast, which just hits you for a lot of fire damage. And he also has a knockback. We actually put down a marker in the video, and everyone absolutely ignores it. So, yeah, that's the way to go, guys. Stay with your back to a wall so you don't get knocked back to high oblivion. If you get knocked back a lot, you're going to have to walk back, and chances are you have a dot on yourself, you're out of range of healers, and you're going to die. So, yeah, watch out for that. Other than that, he also has a submerge/emerge. So when he's submerged, little adds will come out. You have to kill these adds, and then the boss will go back and emerge. The adds, it's not like... You have to kill the adds to emerge the boss. There's no damage on the boss during that phase. But other than that, that is actually it. Enjoy your mount, guys. I actually have a showcase of what the mount looks like. I also got the pet, the Hate Spark the Tiny. what I've read on Wowhead, I think he's actually a he's actually a 0.3. Yeah, he's actually a 0.3 drop rate. So yeah, that's kind of lucky that I got it on my first run. Still didn't get the Flames Ragnaros for my weapon. Okay guys, time to go over the rewards. So right now in my mailbox you can see the mail that you get once you kill Ragnaros. You're also going to get the Feat of Strength. Boldly you sought the power of Ragnaros. This will be unavailable, so if you want that thing, you should go get it, because it also gives you a Core Hound mount, which you will be seeing right now. For just logging in during WoW's 10th anniversary, you're actually going to get Molten Core, which is kind of fun. It's a really cute pet, actually. It's a really cute pet. Let's talk about loot from Rag. Rag has 2 rare drops. Looking at the drop rates right now, actually. Hate Spark the Tiny is a pet, and he's dropped by Ragnaros at a 0.03% drop rate. I got him on my first kill. Tell me guys how lucky you were in the comments, or if you're still farming for the pet. I actually really like the pet. He's really cool. I don't know if I show him. I think I might show him on the video, but if I don't, I'm just going to include a clip later on where I show him. And he also drops Flames of Ragnaros, once again at a 0.03% drop rate. It is a weapon enchant, or it's not an enchant, it just makes your weapon look as if it were imbued with flame. It just looks like fiery weapon, I think. Yeah, it looks kind of like fiery weapon. You just have fires around your weapon. Yeah, it's cool. I don't really want it, so I'm not really going to be sad once I don't get it. Sad face. But yeah, the Core Hound mount is actually ugly as fuck. I don't like it a single bit. Not going to be using it, but hey, it's a nice vanity mount for the collection. And yeah guys, that's about it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm also going to be bringing a healer and a tank guide probably sometime in December, since I'm going to start raiding once the raid comes out and I won't have a lot of time to level my alts. But yeah, I'm going to level my monk now. It's around level 93, I would want to say. I think it's 93 or 94. I'm going to level that now and get him to 100 ASAP because he's a tank. Because Brewmaster monks are actually really cool. They're kind of crap, but they're cool. So I'm also going to bring guides for healing and tanking. If there's anything you want to know until then, this video covers pretty much some stuff for healers and tanks. I don't talk about tank swaps and certain, tank mechanics, but there is a decent amount of stuff that even healers and tanks could learn from. But yeah guys, that is it for this guide, and until next time, Aq out.